Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Between the Lines. I'm your host, Alex. Today we're going to talk about ding, 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 accountability. There's always that one person that teaches you or preaches you need to be accountable for your actions, but not often do we actually see that in action when it's their turn in the spotlight. Accountability is absolutely paramount for leaders. It should be number one in their handbook, in their playbook, whatever you want to call it. Those are what make true leaders stand out. You know, many people have their own versions of accountability, what that's like and, how they interpret it, but to me it's very simple. Your team's wins are your team's wins. Your team's losses are your losses. Let that sink in a little bit. When your team wins, give them the credit. They busted their ass, they accomplished the mission. Guess what? If they fail, it's not on them. It's on you as a leader. Truth hurts sometimes, but it's not said enough. I think nowadays we are very hesitant to take ownership in a lot of the things that we're responsible for because it's so much easier to just try to point fingers and blame somebody else, right? That's not okay. Own up to your mistakes. In fact, those mistakes are probably why you're in a leadership role yourself, because you probably learned from them. It's not a bad thing. Accountability seems scary at first, right? Nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody wants to, you know, lose their job, right? I'm not saying it'll come to that, but failures happen. They do. Failures happen all the time. But it's what we do as leaders when those failures happen that define us. If this is striking a chord with you, I'm glad. It's one thing to tell somebody to take accountability for their actions. It's another to reciprocate that when it's our turn. And the way we deal with it, the way we handle it, it really defines the person as a leader. I've seen a lot of people really try to wiggle their way out of situations where, oh shit, like I'm gonna get in trouble, or fuck, like who do you blame this on? What happened? Whose mistake was it? Whose fault is it? For your team, those aren't mistakes, those aren't faults, those are learning opportunities. For you, that's your fault. If your team screws up, it's your mess too. You're responsible for cleaning it up. At the same time, when your team wins, do not be the person that goes for the credit, that goes for the glory. Nobody likes that person. Nobody likes that person. That's the truth. If you're so quick to grab the credit for your team's work, you got a lot of soul searching to do on that one. And you might ask for some training, take some leadership classes, something, because that's no bueno, you know. But excuses when it comes to accountability, people see right through them. Sorry to say that, but they're so easy to see through, especially nowadays. People can tell. People can get the answers that they want. People can find the truth if they want to. Guys, it's just so much easier to just stay true in the workplace and in life. At home, if you have kids, if you have a family, a partner, it's just so much easier to be true to yourself and to just be a truthful person. I get it, easier said than done. Everybody lies, everybody, does that shit, and yeah, that's never going to go away. But for your team's sake, better be on fucking point, because someday you're going to find that they're just not going to listen to you anymore. They're not going to believe you. You're going to lose their trust. It's really something that is just truly gained from experience, and I've seen a lot of people really struggle with this, and myself included, and especially while on deployment, people have their certain jobs, correct? I was in the aviation side of the Navy, and we were responsible for the communication systems, the navigation systems that go in the F-18s, F-35s, the helicopters. And when you're on deployment, when you're on a boat, there's no room for failure. There's no room for mistakes. That situation is way more intense than being in a corporate job, being at home, being, in a setting where it's not necessarily a life or death situation, because that's what it comes down to. When you're on deployment, things are moving so fast. It's 24/7. Jets are taking off, jets are landing, helicopters are going off, and they're all supporting missions for troops that are on the ground, right? So if a bird's not ready to fly, and it's because your work center didn't provide the gadget box that the plane needs to take off, guess what? You're not sleeping. You're not getting off shift. Your ass is in there working, trying to figure it out, right? And I think that's what really prepared me to be able to take accountability for my own actions, because I did struggle with it at first. Because you have your maintenance chief, you have your maintenance officer grilling you, what's going on? Why isn't this ready? This, that, and the other. And if you show an ounce of you're trying to bullshit your way out of it, oh buddy, they're gonna see right fucking through that. And it's just gonna make everything worse. It's like I said, it's a different beast when you're on deployment, or just in any military setting in general, because there's so much riding on you being able to execute your function, right? And when you mess up, if you do something wrong, you had better start taking accountability for that, because they don't play. They truly don't fucking play when it's that type of environment. So coming back to the corporate side of everything, I say corporate, but just the civilian life of just being in the workplace. I see mistakes as learning opportunities for you, for your team. I see ways that we can grow. I am 100% okay with any member of my team making a mistake. But how I handle that is, they made a mistake, they come and talk to me about it. Hey man, I really fucked this up. I wasn't trying to, but I didn't expect this to happen. How can I move forward? All fucking day, I will help that person get to where they're going. I'll help them, you know, find the answer for themselves. I'll reassure them that it is okay. Nobody's life is on the line. How do we take this scenario? How do we take the situation? How do you learn from it? Right? What's one thing that you know not to do or to do next time to prevent this situation? And not only that, let's take it a step further. How can you help your team? How can you share this bit of knowledge with your team to say, hey guys, just a heads up, next time you're doing X, Y, and Z, make sure you focus on this, or make sure that, whatever the situation might be, use those to your advantage. Don't be so quick to, well, why the hell did you do that? Or are you serious? Or I swear I've heard this said before. Are you a fucking idiot? Who does that help? I don't understand what that does for somebody other than making their own ego, or making themselves feel superior to everybody. Like, I guess you never made a mistake. Dumb and Dumber reference, but that was a real life thing that did happen in real life. But like I said, it's the way that you handle those mistakes. And guess what? If it's a serious enough mistake to where, higher ups have to find out about it, guess what? That team member is not going to be in that room setting explaining what happened. That's going to be on me. That's going to be on you as a leader to say, this situation happened under my watch. It will be corrected. I will handle it. And guys, let me tell you, that goes a long way. with your employers, with executive levels, with, anybody that's above you, because they can see that you're committed to your team. One, you're not trying to blame other people. Two, and that even though this happened, you're still willing to correct the action and to make this opportunity a learning experience for everybody. And I think that's what really sets leaders apart from everybody else, right? Is no matter what happens in a workplace setting, you're there to bring people up. You're responsible for these people, and you can either run with it, do everything you can to bring your team up, or just use them to stroke your own ego. We'll see how long that lasts for you. Not very long. I can guarantee you that. But if you're always pointing fingers at somebody to keep the spotlight off of you, to take the blame off of you, to make yourself feel superior, phenomenal cosmic power, you've got a lot of work to do. Maybe you should start pointing some of those fingers at yourself, knife hand yourself, but accountability, like I mentioned earlier, is extremely paramount. That's what's going to take you the farthest in your career. That's how you're going to gain more people's trust. That's how you're going to be able to make your team achieve their goals, right? It's one thing to be in the moment when everything's going good and we're celebrating this, that, and the other. But then when we're in a bad situation and you're kind of backing out, like, I don't this just them, it's not a good place to be. And again, I'm speaking from experience. I used to be a little bitch about it because I didn't know any better. you know I thought that to protect myself and my career, I had to. I don't know how that happened. Ask this guy. This is on him. I did everything that I could. Did I really? Probably not. But hey, lesson learned, right? But when you take a step back and you realize, well, fuck, I probably could have helped him. I could have asked. I could have followed up. I could have, you know, done a little bit more on my part to make things easier for the team. There are 1,000 different scenarios and different things that you can tell yourself after the fact. Like they say, hindsight is 20. I was going to say hindsight is 24/7. Hindsight is 20/20, right? But if this is something that is resonating with you, good. And if it's something that makes you uncomfortable to talk about, even better. Because I want to hit those pressure points, those pain points for you. Because nobody else is really talking about this. Take accountability for your actions. Okay, but what does that mean? What does this all mean, Basil? Guys, if you didn't know, I'm a big movie buff, so there's going to be a lot of movie references throughout these episodes. So I want to leave you with this. Take the time to get to know your job. Take the time to understand what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. It's good to know those things. It's good to know your boundaries, because it's once you know and understand that, you can better prepare your team to, not make the mistakes. And you can also help your team understand that, guess what? We're all learning here. None of us are perfect at this. And if they see that you're not just saying it, you're actually living it, like, oh shit, guys, that's my bad. I should have done better. I should have prepared more for this. I should have done more planning to help you guys out. I should have been more clear. I should have given you more clarity in your instructions, or I should have given you some instructions at all. Take the time to understand those things. And I guarantee you're going to see your employees and, your superiors, you're going to see them start to trust you a whole lot more. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Please, if you resonated with this, please subscribe. Take care. See you next time.